was just satisfying, the most satisfying moment in my career.
Fight fans, welcome back. As the second feature of our Unforgettable Nights series, we switch stance to the darker side of the sweet science. The word scandal in boxing is usually reserved for doping violations or dubious decisions.
And I think that is a terrible, bogus decision.
Though, with pride and patriotism on the line, the welterweight warfare between Miguel Cotto and Antonio Margarito remains one of the most iniquitous yet bittersweet boxing moments of all time.
Suddenly, every time Margarito touched Cotto, it was leaving a mark. And it was spooky.
And they want a form of blood revenge tonight.
So keep your friends close and your enemies closer as we bring you the sweetest revenge in boxing history.
There's blood in Margarito's right eye.
There is a Cotto said he would target it.
Epic fight with an epic conclusion.
Welcome to a Motivedia presentation.
And that was, in a way, hard to watch, but in a way you couldn't look away.
We're on an island here in Puerto Rico which has produced so many great names in boxing. Among them, Wilfredo Gomez, Tito Trinidad, two true immortals. Is Cotto headed toward being on that list?
By the summer of 2008, a 27-year-old Miguel Cotto was already a fan favorite.
Cotto has energy. What a vicious struggle. Glory in the garden.
After making his first few dents in the 147-pound division, he was widely considered at the time as the most serious threat to Floyd's unbeaten resume.
If I had to go to war and fight hard, he's not going to be able to outfight me in a war. Cotto is not going to be able to outfight me.
He'd shown heart against Judah,
Dominance at this moment.
skill against Mosley,
Stealth weapon for Cotto.
and ferocity against Gomez.
Punch shot.
The most painful punch you can receive is a punch to the solar plexus.
Performances that aligned him with some of the sport's most well-rounded fighters.
They know when they put me with Mayweather, with Hatton, with every fighter at the level.
Though after a dazzling display against Hatton in December, Money May had made a temporary exit from the sport.
Don't let the sport of boxing retire me. I'll retire from the sport.
Therefore, at the top of the welterweight roster stood the likes of Clottey, Williams, and Margarito.
Body shots into the gut of Golden Johnson, and he backs him with uppercuts.
And it was the latter, the rough and tumble Mexican fighter, who looked set to step up to the plate.
The average good welterweight throws somewhere between 50 and 60 punches per round. These guys throw twice that many.
He was on a redemption path after a unanimous loss to Paul Williams. Antonio simply left it all too late, on a night that looked to have damaged his career, reputation, and earning power.
Paul Williams threw 1,256 punches in 12 rounds against one of the roughest, toughest welterweights alive. And for Antonio Margarito, the long drive toward the top is momentarily halted.
However, stopping Cintron in Atlantic City for the second time, the welterweight star secured one last shot at the big time.
Tremendous left-hand shot. That's the Antonio Margarito everybody was avoiding.
An opportunity that he would capitalize on by all means necessary.
Cotto's one of the best welterweights, and we'll let that up to Bob Arum to see whenever he's ready, whenever Cotto's ready.
With both men victorious on the same night, the date for the Las Vegas showdown, simply labeled The Battle, was set.
July 26 is the date, and I'm ready to pick a winner. The fans. Boxing fans are the winners when Margarito fights Cotto.
And where the clash of styles would ensure guaranteed entertainment, it was the national pride, conjuring memories of past fights such as Corrales Castillo, that made this one unmissable.
Puerto Rico. Tonight they meet in a hotly anticipated matchup that screams high-action drama. It's Miguel Cotto versus Antonio Margarito.
Keep the fight clean at all times. Protect yourself at all times. And what I say, you must obey. Good luck, Bruno Suerte. Touch him up.
Fortunately, for those watching around the world, the fight caught fire immediately.
Margarito coming forward behind the jab. He steps in the corner and fires away. Both fighters have said hello.
Both men started respectably, with Margarito, as usual, increasing his work rate as the fight went on.
So it has suddenly become the gunfight that everyone anticipated. Now let's see if Cotto can begin to make it more of a boxing match again.
Though with lateral movement and counterpunching, Cotto seemed to be doing the more efficient work. Only he was taking damage. A lot of damage.
There's blood coming from the nose of Miguel Cotto. So Margarito's made his mark in terms of drawn blood.
In hindsight, it's pretty tough to watch, but it was by this point, grinding through the later rounds, that things changed.
But around the 5th or 6th round, suddenly every time Margarito touched Cotto, it was leaving a mark. And it was spooky. It is Cotto still, to my eye, who's landing the harder shots, but it's like hitting a brick wall that continues to close in. Short shots on the inside now, Emmanuel.
Oh, yeah. And Cotto goes to a knee.
A stunning fight of the year stoppage victory, which sent the predominantly Mexican crowd into rhapsodies.
Antonio Margarito has the victory he's been waiting for all his life.
Leaving the bloodied, bruised, and bewildered Puerto Rican shell-shocked.
Epic fight with an epic conclusion. The first loss of Cotto's career.
A display many believed that would truly cement Margarito's legacy, and in a way, they were right.
You don't expect him to go out like that. You'd expect him to go out on his shield. Cotto was not the same fighter after the Margarito loss.
Margarito was now the boogeyman, and in his first outing as unified champ 4 months later, he'd face the third vertex of the welterweight triangle, Sugar Shane Mosley.
One of the genuine superstar fighters of last year, Antonio Margarito, trying to solidify his position of supremacy against Shane Mosley, one of the great veterans of the sport.
Mosley had issues of his own coming into the fight, with doping allegations and the introduction of a new trainer, Naseem Richardson. But it was this man, the late and great coach from Philly, that would make an alarming observation.
There was such a distraction about the tape on the wrist. So I checked the pad, and when I checked the pad, it felt hard. So then the commissioner felt it. He said, that feels pretty hard. The commissioner flipped it open, and a block fell out of it.
The harrowing plaster of Paris, where the hand wraps are soaked in the sulfate mineral gypsum, which then, adding moisture, sets like concrete.
Found out that Margarito had hand wraps that were dipped in something. Suddenly, the Cotto fight made so much sense.
The behind-the-scenes drama caused a lengthy delay, but when the opening bell sounded, Sugar Shane made up for lost time.
It was caught, and Margarito's hands are legally wrapped as he enters the ring against Mosley.
Margarito was off his game. Uncharacteristically, he was being backed up, and his punches, even when they did land, lacked the same venom or devastating impact.
Stab him in his heart, rip around him side. We gonna show him how he gotta slow down. When he hit the pedal, ain't gonna be no gas in the car at the end of it.
By the fifth, after some words of wisdom from Richardson, Mosley had him figured out.
Trouble on the rope, staggers him with that right hand. He's about one more right hand away from going down. Hit flush with every right hand. There's a big left hook. Why not stop it now? And there's the white towel from the corner, and Shane Mosley has annihilated Antonio Margarito.
From a Team Cotto perspective, things began to make sense, especially for a man who had never previously been troubled or cut in his entire career.
Margarito attempted to enter the ring with illegal hand wraps against Shane Mosley in Los Angeles. Based on all that, do you believe that Antonio Margarito used illegal hand wraps against you?
100%.
An investigation was launched as images of Margarito's crumbled and red-stained wraps surfaced. And just 2 weeks after the fight, the disgraced Mexican slugger was handed a year-long ban.
The doctor came back and said, yeah, the dust fell off of it. The dust fell off of that. That's Pasapero. That's why it's no doubt that's what he had.
If the reports were true, which they passed a 7-0 majority in favor by the California State Athletic Commission, then Margarito's second dose of karma in his return would be equally justified.
What do you think of us? Stupid. You're gonna like, oh, coach, put my hand rod in my hand. I'm gonna close my eyes.
In my opinion, did he know? 100% yes. You would definitely know.
Live on HBO pay-per-view from Cowboy Stadium, Dallas, Texas.
With his strength, power, and physical presence, Margarito felt he could nullify Manny's blistering offense. But truthfully, being a right-in-front-of-you type, he was tailor-made for the Filipino.
He's beating Margarito up in this round. There's a huge welcome to Margarito's right eye. He's backing Margarito up, and he's hurting him.
And he was there to be hit all night long.
Margarito momentarily there. Big big right hook.
In a David versus Goliath matchup, Pac-Man went to town, dishing out a ruthless, prolonged beating.
Samuel, he's rearranging Margarito's face, and it may never look the same again.
I don't know, but it's just this is boxing. I hate to say it.
This is a vicious
This is the
beatdown.
boxing, yeah.
His pride was dented. The Tijuana Tornado had sustained a broken orbital bone, permanent damage that almost cost him his license.
Did you ever consider stopping the fight and maybe saving Tony from himself?
Never did. Tony's a warrior, and he would have never allowed me to stop this fight.
With few options left, Margarito's only route back to the pinnacle came in the form of revenge or repeat against his Puerto Rican rival.
The rematch was about Margarito getting his comeuppance. The cheaters never win, right? Like, he's going to really get punished. And in boxing, you're not going to get punished by getting struck out or dunked on. You're going to get physically punished.
But this time, he...
And rips him with a left hook to the chin.
The most impressive thing on a night filled with so much raw emotion was how Cotto managed to keep his composure and fight smart.
Good left by Cotto. It's over. It's over, and revenge is sweet. The thudding impact that took Miguel Cotto out in Las Vegas was in no way apparent tonight.
After the fight was stopped, you went to Margarito's corner and stared at him for what seemed like quite a while. Why?
Taste my victory on him.
A true blood and guts warrior who flourished during an incredible welterweight era. And it was back at MSG, Cotto would bow out gracefully 6 years later.
All the crowd here, thanks a lot. I love you.
After 5 years away from the sport, Margarito finished his career with 3 hard-fought encounters in Mexico. But physically and mentally, he was never quite the same.
Margarito!
In hindsight, only Margarito and his trainer really know the truth. He was an underrated technician with an iron chin and a relentless attitude. But the scandal throws a huge question mark over his accomplishments, tarnishing everything that once made him great.
Margarito with an unbelievable chin just keeps coming.
It's an odd moment, an exceptional sequence of events, and whether it leaves a bitter taste or a sense of contentment, it's a rivalry that fans of the sweet science won't be forgetting anytime soon.
Of all the fighters we've covered in the 21st century, Miguel Cotto was the most visibly human. He fought every round with his heart on his sleeve, and that's why our hearts are with him tonight.
Just for you, David, a beastie little lullaby. Step off, Holmes, get out of my way. Taxing little girlies from here to LA. Waking up before I get to sleep, 'cause I'll be rocking this party 8 days a week. No sleep till Brooklyn. No sleep till Brooklyn. No sleep till the next Motivedia presentation.